Part 33. Swallowed Star, My Understanding is Beyond Belief. Author, Bo Yoon Song. Chapter 321. Chapter 321, Destruction of the World, a Thought of Nirvana. This cannot go on any longer. Seeing that he could not take control of time and space, the Lord of Hungxian became anxious. His mechanical sky had already accumulated power. If he did not shoot it out, he would hurt himself. It shouted loudly, "Lord of Jianhe, even if we cannot take control of time and space, you must help me control the giant beast of destruction. I will attack it." "I know." The Lord of Jianhe nodded after hearing this, and then burned his divine power again and threw Jianhe Lugo out. As soon as the black compass flew high into the sky, it spun around, and then the magic sword shook, the sword rang, and a magnificent sword shadow flew out from the compass, like a mountain star, suppressing Lugo Xia. Lugo Xia saw at a glance what the Lord of Hungxian and the Lord of Jianhe were planning. He took a deep breath, law of heaven and earth. Boom! The already extremely majestic figure of the destroying beast suddenly soared to hundreds of millions of kilometers. At the same time, Lugo Xia's combat power also increased by 100 times. Boom boom boom. The terrifying divine power exploded, forming a magnificent and dazzling divine power tide. These divine power tides surged around the destroying beast, blooming with unparalleled dream colors. The next moment, Lugo Xia stabbed the mechanical sky with a sword in one hand, condensed an endless light wheel in the other hand, and stretched out his hand, and actually shattered the magnificent sword shadow in an instant, and then suppressed the spinning Jianhe Lugo. Under the suppression of the giant palm condensing the light wheel, the compass seemed to solidify and no longer spun. The Lord of Jianhe in the distance sensed the terrifying power coming from Jianhe Lugo, and his divine body was actually damaged and weakened by 10%. Can the divine body actually become hundreds of millions of kilometers high? The cosmic masters who were watching were shocked. The Lord of Jianhe and the Lord of Hungxian who faced Lugo Xia were also extremely surprised. As the lords of the universe, although they could also transform into a large divine body, they could only reach tens of millions of kilometers at most. How could Lugo Xia's divine body directly explode to hundreds of millions of kilometers? This is simply incredible. Destroy it. Mechanical torrent. Seeing Lugo Xia's long sword piercing his mechanical sky, the Lord of Hungxian finally exploded. I saw that the countless gun barrels that had long been dazzling and condensed with terrifying law power were all sprayed together. Boom boom boom. One after another, terrifying law power gathered like a torrent and bombarded Lugo Xia. At this moment, the entire universe seemed to dim, but it was extremely bright. Facing this terrifying and desperate law torrent, Lugo Xia laughed, "Even if I suppress Jianhe Lugo with one hand now, I am still invincible. Your mechanical torrent is very good. Unfortunately, it can't kill me." In the laughter, the galaxy sword in Lugo Xia's hand suddenly disappeared. Just when everyone was puzzled, a hole suddenly appeared in the front of the law torrent. This hole was like an abyss, a bottomless pit, and it swallowed up the law torrent with extreme destructive power. The Lord of Hungxian and the Lord of Jianhe were both stunned. What is this trick? Are you kidding me? This is the original star. The time and space are so stable that even the Lord of the universe can't teleport. How can you break the time and space and tear such a big hole? And why is this time and space hole so weird? It seems that there is another universe inside. Creation of the world. At this moment, Lugo Xia's faint voice sounded. He raised his hand and reached into the torn time and space hole, and pulled out the galaxy giant sword that had disappeared before. Boom! The vision that the world seemed to be divided into two halves appeared again. Half was as dark as the abyss, and the other half was as bright as the sun. Not only the Lord of Hungxian and the Lord of Jianhe, but also the other universe masters who are still on the original star can see it. In the middle of black and white, a boundless new universe is being born. The mechanical torrents of the Lord of Hungxian slammed into the new universe, just like a stream rushing into the ocean, and it couldn't make any particularly big waves. This is also natural. Although the Lord of the universe is the master of time and space, he is unparalleled in power. But they can't destroy the universe at all. Since they can't destroy the universe, they naturally can't destroy the new universe created by Logos-Ya. This creation opening the world is the strongest talent secret method opening the world given by the original universe after Logos-Ya successfully opened up the universe in his body at the planetary level. You too, please die. Logos-Ya sneered, pointed his long sword at the Lord of Hungxian and the Lord of Jianhe, and the new universe that was born immediately burst out with a strange devouring force. No. Destroy the giant beast. The Lord of Hungxian and the Lord of Jianhe roared and tried hard to break free from the devouring power of the new universe. However, this devouring power was so strong that no matter how they struggled or used secret techniques, they could not break free. In less than a 10,000th of a second, they were swallowed into the boundless new universe. Destroy the world, annihilate in one thought. In Logos-Ya's eyes, divine light bloomed, and the next moment, the boundless power caused the new universe to collapse and destroy. The Lord of Hungxian and the Lord of Jianhe who were sucked into it naturally could not escape the fate of destruction. Boom! Accompanied by the roar of the Big Bang, the newly born universe went from creation to complete destruction before it had time to breed new life. The Lord of Jianhe and the Lord of Hungxian were also blown to death. The universe masters and overlords stared at Logos-Ya, who was hundreds of millions of kilometers tall, in astonishment. This, just kill him. The Lord of Hungxian. The Lord of Jianhe. Two universe masters were killed just like that. What kind of move is that? How terrifying. Fighting one against two, he was able to kill universe masters like the Lord of Hungxian and the Lord of Jianhe. This giant beast of destruction is too terrifying. If someone had told me before that a universe master could kill two other universe masters alone, I would have laughed and questioned, how is that possible? How great and powerful is the universe master? How could he be killed so easily? But now, the facts are in front of us. A new great universe master was born. He is so powerful. So terrifying. I'm afraid the Starry Sky Giant Beast Alliance will smile crookedly when they see such a strong man. The universe masters and overlords discussed excitedly. Only the strong men of the Thorn Ring Alliance, as if they had lost their parents, dared not stay on planet 05921 any longer. At the moment when the Lord of the Sword River exploded, they all flew towards the transmission channel leading to the outside world. Logos-Ya did not want to kill people, so he let the strong men of the Thorn Ring Alliance fly away. Some tacit rules in the universe still need to be followed. He returned to his normal size, waved his hand, and two treasures suspended in the air flew towards him. One was the Sword River Logo. The other was the mechanical sky of the Lord of the String. The main body of this mechanical sky is actually a 12-sided crystal, which is not very large, only the size of a basketball on Earth. But it can be greatly expanded. If the divine power provided is sufficient, it can even expand to a diameter of several light years. It is a treasure of the higher domain type. Swallowed Star, my understanding is beyond belief. Author, Bo-Yoon Song. Chapter 322. The fall of Lord Jianhe and Lord Hungxian soon spread throughout the original universe. There is no way, this matter is too big. Although in the past when the original star was opened, the master of the universe also died. But now, just over 100 years have passed since the original star was opened. How come two masters of the universe have died? Virtual Universe, Hongmeng City Open Air Bar. The strong men of the human race will basically leave a trace of consciousness here, and then let their true bodies and clones venture into the primitive star. At this time, These powerful human beings were excitedly discussing the deaths of the Lord of Hongxian and the Lord of Jianhe. Just listen to the venerable Jojo, who is best at collecting information, say, "I just got the news that the Lord of Jianhe of the Thorn Ring Alliance and the Lord of Hongxian of the Machinery Tribe died on the original star No 05921. What? The Lord of Jianhe and Hongxian have fallen. Although in the past, when the primordial star was opened, there would be lords of the universe who fell, but basically it was not until the later stages of the primordial star that the lords of the universe would fall. How come there are lords of the universe falling now? And they just fell. 2. Yes. It's so strange. Lord Xianzhou, is your news true or false? The news from Venerable Xianzhou is true. A universe venerable stood up and said, "I was at the scene of that earth-shattering battle not long ago. It's Lord Beijiang." Others recognized the Lord of the universe who had stepped forward. "Beiji, are you on the original star No 05921 now?" a venerable asked. Venerable Beijiang nodded and said, "Yes. I witnessed the whole process of the fall of the Lord of Jianhe and the Lord of Hongxian. It was really an earth-shattering battle." Lord Bloodwing asked, "Beiji, how did the Lord of Jianhe and the Lord of Hongxian fall? Two lords of the universe fell at the same time. Could it be that the Lord of Jianhe and the Lord of Hongxian self-destruct each other? The Lord of Jianhe and the Lord of Hongxian are also the veteran universe masters in the original universe. Although most human beings may not have seen these two masters of the universe, they have all heard of their names. To be honest, when they first heard the news about the death of these two masters of the universe from the mouth of Venerable Xianzhou, the strong men of the human race did not dare to believe it. After all, he is the Lord of the universe. Even the strongest person in the universe would find it extremely difficult to kill a master of the universe. Now you tell me that they have fallen. Is this possible? It's not a fight between the Lord of Hongxian and the Lord of Jianhe." Venerable Beijiang shook his head. He knew that most of the universe venerables in the field thought wrong. They thought it was the Lord of Hongxian and the Lord of Jianhe who were fighting, and eventually died together. Rather, these two powerful masters of the universe joined forces to attack a giant beast of destruction at the level of the master of the universe. Venerable Beijiang added. Everyone's eyes widened. What? What did you say? Beiji, do you want to stop and listen to what you are saying? Two universe masters teamed up to attack a universe master level destructive beast, and were killed in the end. Is this possible? Hey, Beiji, are you sure you're not hallucinating? One of the universe venerables looked at Lord Beiji in disbelief and asked. Venerable Beiji said helplessly, "This is indeed a bit unbelievable, but I was not the only one who was on the primitive star No 05921 at that time. I remember that Venerable Wuxu and the others were also there. Well, a few of us were there at that time." Venerable Wuxu in the crowd spoke up at the right time. So everyone looked at Lord Wuxu again and asked, "So, Wuxu, is what Beiji said true? A giant destroying beast killed the Lord of Jianhe and the Lord of Hongxian." "It's true. Although it's unbelievable, it's true. The giant beast of destruction is extremely powerful, and its divine body is hundreds of millions of kilometers long. The secret method used in the end is terrifying." Lord Wuxu replied. With his evidence, everyone no longer doubts what Venerable Beiji said. But everyone still looked incredibly surprised. The starry sky beasts are very powerful, but none of the famous starry sky beasts in the universe have the strength to fight one against two and kill two lords of the universe, right? The destruction behemoth, is the Lord of Qingxing? No, although the Lord of Qingxing is also the Lord of the universe, its strength is said to be somewhat weaker than the golden-horned Lord of the golden-horned behemoth clan. It is impossible to kill the Lord of Jianhe and the Lord of Hongxian. Since he is not the Lord of Qingxing, is he a member of the wandering clan of the starry sky beast? Venerable Beijiang said hesitantly at this time, "Actually, there is one more thing I haven't told you." "What happened?" Everyone looked at Lord Beiji. Venerable Beiji frowned and said, "The long sword in the hand of the giant beast looks familiar to me. It seems to be the galaxy sword of the Lord of Reincarnation." The galaxy sword of the Lord of Reincarnation. As soon as this information came out, everyone's expression suddenly changed, and then everyone's eyes widened. No, it can't be. Could it be that the giant beast of destruction is the Lord of Reincarnation? He was not the Lord of Reincarnation, so how could his sword end up in the hands of a giant beast of destruction? If it is really the Lord of Reincarnation, it seems that killing two lords of the universe with 1 against 2 would not be too outrageous. Is it really the Lord of Reincarnation? It's very possible. Didn't it say that the Lord of Samsara has the ability to clone himself? That giant beast of destruction should be one of the Lord of Samsara's clones. Why did I suddenly feel that it was no longer strange when I heard that the behemoth of destruction was the Lord of Samsara? I always felt that it was not strange at all for him to be the Lord of Samsara and be able to kill two lords of the universe. Alright. Yes, I feel the same way. Because he is the Lord of Reincarnation. He has already given us a lot of surprises. During the period of World Lord, I killed many immortal kings on battlefields outside the territory. After I became immortal, I killed many lords of the universe. Someone began to talk about Rorschach's past achievements. His record is too brilliant. The strong humans of the human race have heard too much, and they will be surprised at first and find it incredible. But later on, as there are more and more incredible achievements like this, they become numb and less surprised. In the crowd, Lord Bloodwing and Lord Nine Swords looked at each other. Really, Rorschach? Thunder Island, in the temple of the Lord of Chaos City. The Lord of Chaos City looked at his disciple and asked, "Is that the destroying giant beast that killed the Lord of Jianhe and the Lord of Hongxian?" Rorschach nodded, "It's me. I heard from the original ancestor that the Zerg Queen and others are going to join forces to find trouble for you. Is there no problem with you exposing your identity on the primitive star like this?" the Chaos City Lord asked. Luo Xia smiled and said, "Teacher, this is what the disciple did on purpose." On purpose, the Lord of Chaos City raised his eyebrows and his expression became slightly serious. "Luo Xia, what are you going to do?" "This disciple is wondering if we can make the Zerg, monster, and mechanical races vassals of our human race," Luo Xia said. The Lord of Chaos City stared at Luo Xia without saying a word. After a while, he asked, "How sure are you?" "In the time and space of the original star, I have a pretty good grasp." Rorschach thought for a while and added, "At least 60% sure." When the Lord of Chaos City heard this, his eyes brightened slightly. He was already 60% sure. "Do you need help from the tribe?" he asked. Luo Xia shook his head. "It's not yet time for the original ancestor to be exposed. I still have the help of demon god Su Zhen by my side, so I don't need help from the clan." Chaos City Lord said, "I understand." After a pause, he ordered, "If something cannot be done, give up. The human race is strong enough, and it is not time for you to go all out and take risks." Disciple understands. Rorschach responded respectfully. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Swallowed Star, my understanding is beyond belief. Author, Bo Yun Song. Chapter 323. In the Thorny Ring Alliance, on a dim planet, a clone of the Lord of the Sword River died, his face full of anger. Damn! Damn the starry sky beast! Ah! It roared, its 5 eyes full of rage. Compared with the real fallen Lord of Hongxian, the Lord of Jianhe is relatively lucky, because he has the ability to clone, and the person who died for him was just a clone he sent to the original star. However, this still made the surviving Lord of Jianhe feel angry and frightened. The anger is because the most precious sword Heluo has been lost. What is horrifying is the strength shown by the Ruinchuo behemoth. The power of the secret technique used at the end was too terrifying. A new universe born due to a secret method can actually swallow the Lord of the Universe, who is above time and space, into it, and detonate the new universe, causing the new universe and the Lord of the Universe to perish together. This is the first time that the Lord of Genhi has seen such a magical and powerful secret technique. To this day, it is horrified. My mind is deeply immersed in the horror of the destruction of the new universe. The Lord of Genhi never expected that there would be such a powerful beast of destruction. What a pity, the Lord of Hongxian who came to help me is completely dead. The Lord of Genhi whispered softly, as if he was mourning the death of Lord Hongxian, and his tone was full of joy for the rest of his life. To be honest, if he didn't have a clone. The one who went there this time was his true body, and I am afraid that like the Lord of Hongxian, he would die at the hands of the giant beast of destruction. No master of the universe can resist the secret technique used by that giant beast of destruction. At this moment, the starry sky suddenly distorted, and the next moment, a supreme will with endless pressure descended. It was a giant black ball. It floats quietly in the dark universe. The Lord of Genhi quickly reacted and looked towards the sky in horror, seeing the black sphere that looked like a black sun. Its body trembled slightly, and it quickly saluted and said, "Genhi, I have seen the mechanical Father God." Buzz. A wave of waves swept across the dim planet. The big black ball is suspended high in the sky. It spoke as if talking to itself, that child Hongxian actually died on the primitive star. Its voice swept through the surrounding space and time, causing ripples in the surrounding space and time, showing various strange phenomena. The Lord of Genhi below couldn't hear Black Ball's words at all. Is the person who killed him, the strongest genius in the human race? This Black Ball seemed to have read the battle scene on the primitive star from the mind of the Lord of the Sword River. It could see at a glance the galaxy sword in the hand of the giant beast of destruction, this sword with the bright galaxy flowing through it. The long sword is the iconic treasure in Rorschach's hand. The black ball was instantly determined. The behemoth of destruction is Rorschach. Buzz. Just like the black ball appeared suddenly, after getting the answer it wanted, it also disappeared suddenly. The trembling Lord of Genhi below secretly breathed a sigh of relief after the black ball completely disappeared, and thought to himself, I thought the Father God of the mechanical clan was here to cause trouble for me. After all, the Lord of Hongxian fell because of me, but this is a bit wrong. Why did you leave so suddenly? It doesn't understand at all what the purpose of this great and strongest man in the universe is. On the other side, after the Father God of the mechanical tribe left the star area of the Thorn Ring Alliance, he soon descended on a starry sky again. Not long after it arrived, the other two consciousnesses followed. One of the consciousnesses manifested into a graceful figure, standing in the endless light, dreamy and charming. Another figure had a silver snake head, a majestic body lingering in the starry sky, and the aura it exuded even distorted the surrounding time and space. Machine. I heard that your machine clan lost a master of the universe on the primitive star. The demon clan Mencha looked at the giant black ball and asked. The graceful Shuiying in the endless radiance also looked at the giant black ball. She also heard the news. Every time the original star is opened, the master of the universe will fall. But this time, the original star has not been open for long, and the master of the universe has fallen? Black Ball was slightly silent. The demon tribe Mencha continued to ask, and I heard that the master of the universe of your mechanical tribe joined forces with the master of the universe of the Thorn Ring Alliance and was killed 2-1. The Lord of the universe has to go to great lengths to kill us. Who killed Hongxian? The Zerg Queen asked softly. Her voice was very soft, like a gentle big sister caring lovingly. Rorschach, the cold voice of the Father God of the mechanical clan, sounded. The demon clan Mencha and the insect queen were both shocked. Rorschach. Didn't the information I got say it was a giant beast of destruction? Meng Cha, a demon clan, said doubtfully. The godfather of the mechanical clan said calmly, don't forget, Rorschach has the ability to clone himself. As early as the battlefield outside the territory, his clone of the giant beast of destruction had been active. Hearing this, the demon clan Mencha was surprised and said, that human boy has been operating on the primitive star as a clone of the giant beast of destruction. The graceful Shuiying said, machine, so what if we know that the giant beast of destruction is Rorschach? Maybe he entered the primitive star as a clone, and his true body is still in the core territory of the human race. If we just kill one of his clones, what will happen? What's the use? I have a way to annihilate his soul directly, the father god of the mechanical tribe said coldly. What can I do? Asked Meng Cha, a demon tribe. A projection suddenly appeared beside the father god of the mechanical clan. It was a black bead, like a black hole. It was just a projection, but it seemed to be able to absorb people's souls into it, emitting a strange breath. Top treasure soul destroying bead. The expressions of the demon clan Mencha and the queen of the insect clan changed slightly. At the same time, the original star. Boom. After the death of the clones of the Lord of Hengxian and the Lord of Jianhe, all the strong men thought that there would be no strong men at the level of the Lord of the Universe descending on this original star again. Unexpectedly, not long after this, a huge breath descended again. I saw a giant beast filled with hot flames appearing in the vast sky, an endless breath spread, and the entire original star trembled slightly. Where is the giant beast that killed the Lord of Hengxian and the Lord of Jianhe? The voice of this flame giant beast was like thunder, rumbling throughout the original star and reaching the ears of all the strong men. All the strong men looked at the flame beast, with a slightly surprised look on their faces. It's the Lord of the Flame Star. Someone from the Starry Sky Beast Alliance has indeed come. Strange, the Lord of the Flame Star doesn't seem to know the destroying beast. Luo Xia had already sent his elder brother Luo Feng out of the primitive star. He didn't expect that the Lord of the Flame Star would come to him. After being slightly surprised, he flew to the sky and also manifested a body of tens of thousands of kilometers that was no less than that of the Lord of the Flame Star. He said, I am the destroying beast that killed the Lord of the Hengxian and the Lord of the Jianhe. The Lord of the Flame Star saw the destroying beast and was surprised by its breath. After a while, he spoke, I am the Lord of the Flame Star. Are you my fellow countrymen from the Starry Sky Beast Alliance who is stranded outside? Swallowed Star, my understanding is beyond belief. Author, Bo Yun Song. Chapter 324. I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow. The reason why the Lord of the Flame Star asked this question. The main reason is that when the star beasts wander in the universe, they are easily possessed by others. If they have not reached immortality, the Lord of the Flame Star can still tell whether the star beasts in front of him have been possessed. But after immortality, the soul and body merge. Even the Lord of the Universe cannot tell whether the star beasts in front of him have been possessed by others. So when he saw Luo Xia, the Lord of the Flame Star was very hesitant. It is of course happy that its race has one more Lord of the Universe, but this Lord of the Universe came out of thin air, not cultivated by the race, so the Lord of the Flame Star has some doubts. Is the destroyer beast in front of him really a star beast? Luo Xia looked up at the huge flaming beast in the sky and said, Sorry, Lord of the Flame Star, this is one of my clones. The Lord of the Flame Star's eyes narrowed, Clone. Yes, by chance, I got the fur of the destroying beast and used it to breed a clone. Luo Xia said frankly. The Lord of the Flame Star was silent for a while, and said, So that's it? Luo Xia continued, I think I am not an enemy of the Star Beast Alliance. The Lord of the Flame Star looked at Luo Xia. In fact, the Star Beast Alliance did not want to make enemies with enemies like Luo Xia. Since this body is your body, I wonder who your true body is. The Lord of the Flame Star asked in a voice transmission. I am Logosya of the human race in the universe. I have met the Lord of the Flame Star. Logosya said. It turned out to be you. The Lord of the Flame Star's huge eyes widened slightly, and it had a vague guess in its heart, but it never thought that the true identity of the destroying beast was the strongest genius of the human race. It's me, Logosya smiled. The Lord of the Flame Star shook his head slightly and said, if it's you, forget it. I heard that a strong man from my alliance was besieged by the Lord of the Universe in this world, so I came to help, but I was a step late. When I got here, you had already killed your opponent. You fought 1 against 2 and killed 2 lords of the universe. Logosya of the human race, you are really as powerful as the legend says. Lord of the Flame Star, you are too kind. Since you are not a strong man from my Starry Sky Giant Beast Alliance, I won't talk to you anymore. Goodbye, Logosya of the human race, I hope we won't become enemies in the future. As the Lord of the Flame Star said, his majestic body moved slightly, and then disappeared in the starry sky. Logosya smiled gently when he saw the Lord of the Flame Star leave. Who would have thought? The former native of the earth, now with strength, can actually make a powerful starry sky giant beast feel afraid and unwilling to be his enemy. Logosya has unknowingly reached the top ranks in this universe. After he killed 2 universe masters, all the strong men in the original universe, except for some powerful universe masters, would probably no longer underestimate Logosya's strength. Some universe masters would even be afraid and wary of Logosya. Big Brother has returned to the original universe now. Logosya sensed Logofeng's position. Next, he will probably go to find other fragments of the 9 Tribulation secret book and enter the test set by the mountain guest. In the original book, Logofeng also went to the God of Craftsman Mountain to find the fragments of the 9 Tribulation secret book at this time, but was thrown into a desperate situation by the God of Craftsman, who was the master of the universe. Finally, he accidentally went to the core star field of the Starry Sky Giant Beast Alliance, where he accepted the test of the mountain guest and the Starry Sky Giant Beast ancestor. It seems that I won't see my big brother for another 20,000 years. Logosya smiled and shook his head. He was not very worried about Logofeng's situation. Instead, he was a little worried that if big brother Logofeng disappeared for another 20,000 years, how would he explain to his sister-in-law Su Xian after he came back? Speaking of which, the father god of the mechanical clan is really cruel. He actually got a soul-destroying orb in order to completely kill me. The soul-destroying orb is a very famous top treasure in the original universe and even in the universe C. It is said that even the strongest person in the universe can be killed by this treasure if he is not careful. However, it is extremely difficult to refine the soul-destroying orb. The resources consumed are enough to cultivate hundreds of universe masters. The father god of the mechanical clan is willing to spend a lot of money to kill Logosya. In the virtual universe, Hongmeng City Open Air Bar. Logosya's figure appeared. The moment he appeared, he was discovered by the human race strongmen in the bar. Everyone looked at him with bated breath. Logosya couldn't help but smile and asked, "Why are you all looking at me like that?" Then the Lord of Universe stepped forward to salute and greeted, "Meet the Lord of Samsara." Then he explained, "The reason why everyone is looking at you like this is mainly because they are confused." "Oh? What confusion?" "That, the one who killed the Lord of Hongxian and the Lord of Jianhe on the original star 05921, is it you?" "Oh, it's me." Logosya's casual response made the human race strongmen in the bar speechless. "It's really you. You are worthy of being the most powerful genius of the human race. Not long after breaking through to the Lord of the Universe, you can actually fight 2 veteran Lords of the Universe alone. I didn't expect everyone to guess that it was me." Logosya sat down at an empty table in the bar, and a beautiful female immortal god suddenly came up to pour wine for him. "I thought I could hide it from everyone." Lord Bloodwing in the crowd said, the main reason is that your galaxy sword is so unique. When we saw the galaxy sword in the hands of the Ruinsuo behemoth, we guessed it was you. Yes, the galaxy sword is the most precious treasure of your Lord of Reincarnation. Who in this universe can snatch it away from you? Lord Nine Swords said. Lord of Reincarnation, what's the matter with you coming here? Venerable Xianzhou asked. Rorschach had not been seen before, and now he suddenly appeared. It obviously has some purpose. Oh, I'm here to inform everyone that if there are still people on primitive star 05921, it's best to leave quickly. It will become very unsafe there soon. Rorschach took a sip of wine and said to everyone. When Venerable Xianzhou and the others heard this, they were all stunned. Venerable Beiji, who was on the original star No 05921, hesitated and asked, Lord of Reincarnation, what do you mean by this? Because several of the strongest people in the universe will come to this primitive star. If you still want to survive, leave quickly. Rorschach finished the wine in the cup, stood up and disappeared. The strong men in the bar looked at each other. The strongest man in the universe has arrived. What did they do when they came to the original star 05921? Are you here for the Lord of Reincarnation? Is the strongest man in the universe coming to kill the Lord of Reincarnation? But which of the strongest people in the universe has a grudge against the Lord of Reincarnation? It can't be the Zerg Queen and the others, right? All the powerful people were talking about it, and they were all extremely surprised by the news. Of course, some people were confused and asked. The Lord of Reincarnation actually came here to tell us, isn't he afraid of the strongest person in the universe? Yes, that is the strongest person in the universe, a super strong person countless times stronger than the Lord of the universe. Although the Lord of Samsara has just killed 2 lords of the universe to prove his strength, that is the strongest person in the universe. Ah, it is impossible to defeat the Lord of Reincarnation. Do you want to tell the Lord of Chaos City about this? The Lord of Reincarnation has come to tell us about this. The Lord of Chaos City must have known about it a long time ago, right? Sigh, the Lord of Reincarnation asked us who stayed on the original star to leave quickly, but he stayed. Is it to attract the attention of the strongest person in the universe and protect us? He really made me cry to death. Swallowed Star, my understanding is beyond belief. Author, Bo Yun Song. Chapter 325. After leaving Hongmeng City, Luo Xia returned to the original planet. He quietly waited for the arrival of the Zerg Queen and others. And the Beiming Venerable and others, following Luo Xia's advice, have retreated from the original planet No 05921. However, although they have retreated, they are still very concerned about the movements on the original planet No 05921. In addition to the strong men of the human race retreating from the original planet No 05921, the strong men of the demon race, the Zerg race and the mechanical race also retreated one after another. Only the strong men of other forces who are still unclear about the situation still stay on the original planet No 05921 and continue to search for treasures. On this day, the quiet starry sky suddenly rippled. Then, 3 majestic figures suddenly rushed out of the transmission channel. In just a moment, the terrifying endless pressure permeated the entire original planet. Many strong men who were still on the original planet No 05921 felt like fish on the shore, with a feeling of stranded and dying. At this moment, time and space seemed to freeze into ice. Everything was still. Above the sky, 3 huge monsters showed their true bodies, a graceful woman, a black giant ball, and a powerful demon with a silver snake head. They were like 3 dazzling stars, floating above the sky, emitting a breath that gradually twisted the stable time and space, forming 3 dazzling colorful vortices. They stood in the colorful vortex. At this moment, the other strong men on the original star suddenly found that they could not sense any laws of the original universe. This original star No 05921 seemed to be separated from the original universe and became an isolated island. It's the strongest in the universe. The strongest in the universe is here. That's the father god of the mechanical clan. Mengcha, the dream demon ancestor of the demon clan. The queen of the Zerg clan. Why are these three strongest people here? What are they here for? Let's go. It's too dangerous here. It's not a place for us universe-honored ones to stay. Some people exclaimed, and some people ran away. The arrival of the queen of the Zerg clan, the father god of the mechanical clan, and the dream demon ancestor of the demon clan made the universe-honored ones react immediately after a moment of astonishment. Although they didn't know why these three strongest in the universe came. But at this moment, the original star No 05921 is undoubtedly the most dangerous place in the original star space and time. These universe-honored ones are like ants in front of the strongest in the universe. If they don't run away, a battle will break out later, and the aftermath of the battle alone may kill them. They don't want to die. Countless universe-honored ones began to fly towards the transmission channel. However, the space and time of the entire primitive star had long been controlled by the Zerg Queen. After these cosmic masters flew to the location of the transmission channel, they found that the entire channel had been imprisoned and could not be transmitted. No. How could it be? The space and time were imprisoned. The transmission channel cannot be transmitted. Why? Why did these three strongest people come here? Damn it! I was wondering why Venerable Thorn suddenly left this primitive star. Did they get the information a long time ago? Knowing that the three strongest people would come here recently. This is bad. We may die here. Zerg Queen. We are from the Northern Frontier Alliance. Please be lenient and let us go. There will be a big reward later. Some strong men were shocked and angry, and cursed in their hearts. Some strong men also pleaded with the Zerg Queen in the sky. Among them, the people of the Northern Frontier Alliance were the most fearless, because their alliance also had the strongest people in the universe. They believed that if the Zerg Queen did not want to offend that adult, she should let them go. But, little guys, please stay on this primitive planet for a while. After all, the boy from the human race is likely to be among you and escape from this planet. The soft voice of the Zerg Queen sounded, and a graceful and charming figure appeared in the hearts of the strong men who heard it, and they were obsessed with her extreme beauty. The boy from the human race. The strong men below were surprised that these three big men came for a boy from the human race. Could it be that the most powerful genius of the human race, Rorschach? The more the strong men thought about it, the more possible it was, and they were all surprised. In order to kill a genius of the human race, Rorschach, these three strongest men actually joined forces to kill. Is the genius of the human race so powerful? It's probably not that the genius of the human race, Rorschach, is so talented, but that the three strongest masters came out together to ensure that Rorschach was killed. Even so, it's terrible. Since the birth of the original universe, has any genius of any race been treated like this? It actually attracted the three strongest masters to attack together. That Rorschach, even if he dies in this battle, his name will be engraved in the history of the original universe of this era. Yes. This human genius is too terrifying. I heard that he grew into the master of the universe in less than 8 eras. With such a terrifying talent, if I were the three strongest masters, I would worry every day and want to kill him completely. But if you want to kill Rorschach, just kill Rorschach. Why involve us? I don't want to die here. I can only say that we are unlucky. The Universe Masters sighed. Now that the Zerg Queen has spoken like this, the Universe Masters should not think about escaping, just accept your fate. In front of the strongest man in the universe, they could only accept their fate. Rorschach, aren't you coming out yet? The giant silver snake screamed, shaking the entire space and time, triggering the phenomenon of stars falling. I didn't expect that you are the master of the universe, and your control of time and space has reached the level of the strongest person in the universe. Even the three of us, I couldn't discover you right away. Boy, you are very good, but it's a pity that you are not from my demon clan. Buzz. At this moment, an invisible space-time radiation spread out. Everyone discovered in surprise that a bright sacred tree that looked like stars appeared in the starry sky at some point. On its dense crown, there were 10 fruits of different colors hanging. Each fruit exudes the power of endless original laws. The roots of the sacred tree are rooted in the endless void, and no one knows where those roots are. And right on top of this huge sacred tree, sits a perfect human man. He is like the incarnation of perfection. No matter which race or life, when you see him, you will think from the bottom of your heart, this human man is perfect. He just sat quietly on the sacred tree, looking at the 3 strongest men in the universe. 3 of you, you are finally here. The human man had a smile on his face, as if he was greeting a friend. I've been waiting here for a long time. When the dream demon ancestor heard this, his huge snake eyes narrowed slightly. He looked at Luoxia and suddenly asked, "Where is that guy Suzhen?" The demon god of Suzhen. Luoxia grinned, and suddenly pointed at the father god of the mechanical tribe and said, "Isn't he standing next to you?" The snake eyes of the dream demon ancestor bloomed with light, and I was shocked. Am I under an illusion? It dare not be careless. The demon god of Suzhen achieved the position of the strongest person in the universe through the illusion flow. It can be said that in the entire original universe, no strongest person in the universe can guarantee that he will not fall into his illusion when facing the demon god of virtual reality. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Swallowed Star, my understanding is beyond belief. Author, Bo Yoon Song. Chapter 326. The father god of the mechanical clan saw Menyazu looking at him in doubt and said lightly, "Meng Cha, Suzhen is not that powerful yet, and can plant illusions on us silently. Relax, this little guy is just blowing us up." Rorschach below laughed, "Ha ha ha. Is this the strongest of the demon clan? You are so timid, I just said it casually, and you took it seriously." Dream Yezu was angry, "Boy. You are looking for death." Its silver snake head suddenly raised, and the strange snake pupils suddenly shot out 2 terrifying lasers, breaking the void and bombarding Luoxia. The sky was torn apart, revealing 2 extremely narrow and long space cracks. I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network Rightward Arrow Method G. Situation. The 2 lasers shot out by the snake pupils were fast and fierce, and almost instantly arrived in front of Luoxia. Just as it was about to hit Luoxia, the huge star god tree shook slightly. The 10 law fruits hanging on the treetops emitted waves of law, forming an invisible and intangible barrier to block the 2 terrifying lasers. Is this Luoxia's strongest treasure? The Zerg Queen, the mechanical father god and the dream demon ancestor all looked at the star god tree. They had received intelligence a long time ago and knew that Luoxia had the strongest treasure, but they had never seen what his strongest treasure was. Now they finally saw it. The power displayed by the star god tree surprised the 3 mechanical father gods. The 2 lasers shot out by the dream demon ancestor's snake pupils seemed ordinary, but their power was very terrible. If it were an ordinary master of the universe, he would not be able to resist it, and more than 20% of his body would be destroyed by the 2 lasers. But such a powerful laser ray was easily blocked by the star god tree, and the 3 were a little surprised. But I don't know what other powers this most powerful treasure has. Is it just defensive power? The Zerg Queen said. The father god of the mechanical clan said at this time, "Mencha, you go and entangle Luoxia, Queen, you go and find Suzhen, I will activate the soul-destroying orb, and I must kill Luoxia with one blow." The Zerg Queen and the Dream Demon Ancestor both nodded slightly. The Dream Demon Ancestor's huge snake body entangled and twisted, breaking through the void, and arrived above Luoxia at an extreme speed. The huge snake tail was like a huge silver spear, piercing out from the endless starry sky, carrying enough power to destroy everything, and bombarded Luoxia sitting on the tree canopy. Come on! Luoxia suddenly stood up, and the law of heaven and earth was performed. His body instantly soared to a height of hundreds of millions of kilometers. He clenched his fists and swung his arms, and smashed the snake tail of the Dream Demon Ancestor. Boom! After a moment of silence, a deafening roar shook the entire original star in the collapsed and shattered space and time. Many cosmic masters looked at the broken starry sky in horror, as if the entire universe was blown away by a corner, forming an extremely magnificent and terrifying scene. Dream Demon Ancestor felt the terrifying power coming from the tail, his snake pupils shrank, and the silver snake tail trembled slightly after colliding with Luoxia's fist. The snake scales seemed to explode, and in the violent power, they were involuntarily thrown to one side. I am the strongest in the universe, and this kid's physical strength can actually be comparable to mine? Moreover, the power of the law contained in his fist is so rich that it is so terrifying. Even if Kong Apo is the Lord of Chaos City, she can't do this in terms of the perception of the law, right? If I really can't kill him today, my demon race will really decline in the future because of this kid. His Dream Demon Ancestor was shocked, and it suddenly roared to the sky, bursting with divine power, wanting to completely control this piece of space and time. Its huge body shuttled back and forth in the void, appearing and disappearing. If someone flew out of this primitive star and looked in this direction from the vast starry sky, they would find that the huge body of the Dream Demon Ancestor had already entangled the entire primitive star. Luoxia discovered the movement of the Dream Demon Ancestor, and he frowned. A ripple of time and space suddenly appeared around him, and then the familiar clone of the destroying giant beast appeared. Oh my god! It's the destroying giant beast that killed the Lord of Hengxian and the Lord of Jianhe. How could the destroying giant beast be next to the human Luoxia? Is the destroying giant beast the clone of the human Luoxia? The strong men hiding in the distance were all surprised to see the destroying giant beast appear. They speculated one by one, and soon guessed the truth. The moment the Zerg Queen and the mechanical father god in the sky saw the destroying giant beast, their eyes lit up. The Queen smiled gently and said, "This human child is actually here in person, and it seems that he has brought his clones with him. Does he really think that he can fight us with a few clones at the level of the Lord of the Universe and the Sohan demon god?" The mechanical father god offered the soul-destroying orb and asked, "Have you found Sohan?" The soul-destroying orb is a top-level treasure. If you want to burst out its greatest power, you need enough time to activate it. If it weren't for the help of the Zerg Queen and the Dream Demon Ancestor, the mechanical father god would not have thought of using the soul-destroying orb, because it takes too much time for this thing to play a role in the battle. By the time you activate the power of the soul-destroying orb, your enemy will have already fled. Not yet. The Zerg Queen shook her head slightly, she raised her slender jade hand, and an invisible wave immediately spread out, covering the entire primitive star in an instant. Sohan is obviously not good at hiding, but I can't find any trace of him. I doubt whether Sohan is still with this human boy. The father god of the mechanical clan said, "No matter what, you help me protect the law first." The Queen of the Zerg nodded lightly. At the same time, on Luoxia's side, after the giant beast of destruction appeared, it burst out with supreme divine power, and the magnificent divine power turned into a tide, sweeping in all directions. "Do you know what the fruit on my tree is used for?" Luoxia suddenly asked with a smile. Menyezu heard this and looked at the law fruit on the star god tree. With his realm as the strongest person in the universe, he could naturally see that this fruit was the condensation of the origin of the law, the incarnation of the law, and it was emitting the fluctuations of the origin of the law all the time. If ordinary people stay under this tree for a long time, they don't need to comprehend it much, and they can have extremely profound law perception. This should be a function of the law fruit. However, whether this fruit has other functions, Menyezu and others don't know. Menyezu was very surprised. This Logosia's luck is really against the sky. He can get such a powerful treasure, which can condense the fruit of the 10 laws. Such a treasure can be of great help to the tribe in cultivating strong people. This kid asked this question at this time. I am afraid that this law fruit has other uses. I just don't know what kind of use it is. I have to be careful. As the strongest person in the universe, if I fall into the hands of this human kid today, it will be a big joke. Menyezu thought. His expression was very alert. I saw the big hand of the destroying beast stretched out to the fruit representing the law of time, picked it up and put it into his mouth. The fruit was eaten by the destroying beast. Boom! The next moment, endless pressure erupted from the destroying beast, and layers of time halos appeared behind his head. The strongest, in the universe. Menyezu, the father god of the mechanical race and the queen of the Zerg race were completely shocked. They didn't expect it. After the clone of the destroying beast ate a law fruit, its strength actually reached the level of the strongest person in the universe in an instant. Boom boom boom. The power of the destroying beast is still erupting. He seems to have become the original incarnation of the law of time, and the terrifying aura of the law of time lingers all over his body. Under the influence of his aura, various time anomalies appeared in the surrounding time and space. Flowers and plants grew rapidly, and soon grew flowers, and then withered in an instant. But just after withering, the flowers and plants quickly regressed to the time period of germination. Stop! The destroying beast pinched his fingers and pointed at the dream demon ancestor. In an instant, the powerful power of the law of time acted on the dream demon ancestor, freezing the time on his body and making him unable to move. The dream demon ancestor was surprised, his body shook, and his power burst out, trying to break free from the time stillness of the destroying beast. But after the destroying beast ate the fruit of the law of time, it became the incarnation of the law of time. At this time, he used the secret method of time stillness. Even the dream demon ancestor, the strongest person in the universe, couldn't easily break free. After fixing the dream demon ancestor, the endless power of the law of time immediately condensed in the hands of the destroying beast, and in an instant, it turned into a huge long stick with various time secret patterns. Roar! The destroying beast roared, waving the long stick formed by the power of the law of time, and bombarded the dream demon ancestor. The long stick condensed by the power of the law of time is infinitely powerful. In the process of falling, it directly broke through the constraints of space and attacked from the time level. How could the dream demon ancestor escape when he was fixed at this time? Just as it was about to be hit by the time stick of the destroying beast, a huge, magnificent palace suddenly emerged and topped the dream demon ancestor. Boom! The time stick bombarded the magnificent palace, causing the palace to tremble slightly. The dream demon ancestor had already broken free from the stillness of time at this time, and it thanked the Zerg queen. "Thank you, queen." Then, it glared at the destroying beast. "Boy, you have completely angered me." Swallowed Star, my understanding is beyond belief. Author, Bo Yoon Song. Chapter 327. Facing the anger of the dream demon ancestor, Luoxia bared his teeth and smiled, mockingly saying, "The majestic dream demon ancestor, but the Queen of Zerg even needs the help of the Zerg Queen to resist my attacks. So what if I anger you? Do you think you can kill me?" Dream demon ancestor Snake's eyes were cold, and he made no more noise. His huge silver body rolled in the void, shaking up waves of terrifying divine power. The snake tail shining with the secret pattern of the law keeps attacking Rorschach from the void. Its snake tail attack is extremely terrifying and can attack from all directions in an instant. Time and space are breaking. Terrifying holes remain in the void. The giant beast of destruction wielded a long stick condensed by the laws of time, constantly resisting the snake-tail attack of the dream demon ancestor. The two sides collided, not only with the collision of divine power, but also with the collision of the power of laws. The two fiercely attacked and defended, but in just a moment, the original star was turned upside down. Many cosmic lords were affected by the aftermath of the battle and suffered considerable injuries. These cosmic sages were frightened and evaded wildly. But the battle between the strongest people in the universe is too terrifying. Rorschach's clone of the giant beast of destruction continued to fight fiercely with the dream demon ancestor. In a short period of time, the two sides fought for tens of thousands of rounds. Dream demon ancestor became more and more frightened as he fought. It originally thought that the strength of the giant beast of destruction was forcibly improved, and that it was definitely weaker than itself in terms of experience and laws. The result: the behemoth destruction beast is almost the same as the dream demon ancestor in terms of law understanding and combat experience. Even at a certain moment, the long stick wielded by the destruction suo behemoth made the dream demon ancestor feel very fearful. How does this kid practice? How come he has such a strong understanding of the law in such a short period of time? And in terms of combat experience, he can even compete with me, the strongest person in the universe? Is he a monster? Dream demon ancestor was surprised. Although it had heard about Rorschach's incredible abilities before, it was just hearsay after all, and it was not an intuitive experience. But now, the dream demon ancestor is fighting fiercely with Logosya in person. So it really felt the incredible power of Rorschach. Such a heaven-defying human genius, just as the father god of the machine tribe said, he must not be allowed to grow. Otherwise, Rorschach alone could suppress countless ethnic groups in the original universe. Rorschach. The dream demon ancestor roared, like an infinitely long silver snake body rolling in the starry sky. It exploded with supreme divine power, and every scale on its body was blooming with bright light. Boom! For a moment, it was like a neutron star had descended on the primitive star. All the universe venerables and universe overlords who stayed on the primordial star fell to the ground under the terrifying pressure of the dream demon ancestor, and their divine bodies sank deeply into the earth of the primordial star. There was also a slightly weaker universe venerable who was directly seriously injured by the divine power of the dream demon ancestor. His soul was damaged, and he fell into a coma. Boom! The silver light covered the entire primitive star. In an instant, the dream demon ancestor took control of this space and time. The endless pressure crashed down and suppressed Logosya. Click, click, click. Rorschach heard the sound of his bones. Although the star-sacred tree had weakened most of its power, the explosion of the dream demon ancestor still caused Rorschach considerable damage, and he lost 1% of his divine body. Now, in the vast sky, the huge black sphere finally activated the soul-killing bead. The dark and deep black hole-like bead was seen spinning around, and endless secret patterns emerged. The light between heaven and earth dimmed, and then a heart-stopping wave appeared. The breath spreads. The venerables of the universe were trembling and had the illusion that their souls were about to leave their bodies. The next moment, a dark beam of light with an aura of despair shot out from the soul-destroying pearl, instantly piercing the void and hitting Logosya's eyebrows on the star-sacred tree. Well! Logosya let out a scream. Under the expectant gazes of the dream demon ancestor, the queen of the Zerg race, and the father god of the mechanical race, his aura quickly declined. His body was obviously unharmed, but he gave people an aura of defeat and death. Did it succeed? The eyes of dream demon ancestor Snake bloomed with excitement. He looked down and saw Logosya's body falling softly on the tree crown. The clone of the ruined giant beast also lost its divine glory and stood on the ground like a statue. Lost its vitality. It's done, dream demon ancestor laughed, this human kid is finally dead. It looked at the father god of the machine tribe and the queen of the Zerg tribe, and continued, Rorschach dies, how do we divide his treasures? When the Zerg Queen heard this, she frowned. She always felt that something was wrong. Is this human genius really dead? It always feels a little too relaxed. The Zerg Queen couldn't help but whisper. The father god of the mechanical tribe said at this time, according to my calculations, the success rate of our plan is as high as 80%. This is because I added the virtual reality demon god as a disruptive factor into the logic of the calculations and deductions, and came to the conclusion result. But during the battle, the demon god of false truth did not appear. The success rate obtained by my calculations and deductions can reach 100%. Queen of the Zerg, don't worry, the human Rorschach is indeed dead. No matter how he defies heaven, he is just the Lord of the universe, can he really escape from us? After hearing the words of the father of the mechanical race, the queen of the Zerg race felt a little less uneasy. She smiled softly and said, Machine, of course I believe in your calculations, now let's talk about Rorschach's treasure, how should we distribute it? Dream Demon Ancestor said, I have done a lot to contain Luoxia. There is only one of this supreme treasure, and it is not enough for us to share. Let's do this. Whoever wants this supreme treasure can directly bid, with 10 peak treasures as the minimum. Whoever gives the most peak treasures will take this supreme treasure. The mechanical clan father god said, no objection, this distribution is very reasonable. So, do you want this supreme treasure? Dream Demon Ancestor's snake eyes flashed with brilliance, and said, I want it. I can take out 13 peak treasures. This is the most peak treasures that Dream Demon Ancestor can take out. Although the peak treasure is not as strong as the strongest treasure, it is also an extremely precious treasure. The number of peak treasures that each clan can have is very limited. For a powerful universe master like the Chaos City Lord, the peak treasure on his body is only one peak treasure like the Palm universe. The Zerg Queen looked at Menyezu. Of course, she also wanted Luoxia's strongest treasure. With this star god tree, their Zerg can fully cultivate a large number of strong people. But the top treasure is not so easy to get. I give up. After thinking about it, the Zerg Queen gave up fighting for the star god tree. The most important ability of their Zerg is to cultivate Zerg warriors. The mechanical father god has consumed too many resources to make the soul-destroying beads, and there are not too many resources in the tribe to compete with Menyezu for the star god tree. It thought about it and said, Mencha, Luoxia's strongest treasure belongs to you, but the other treasures belong to me and the queen. Hearing this, Menyezu laughed and said, no problem, it's enough to kill that human boy and get such a strongest treasure. Mechanical, queen, then I will go to get the treasure. As he said, Menyezu rushed to the star god tree, wanting to brand his soul mark as soon as possible and get the strongest treasure. However, just as it flew to the star god tree and released its divine power, a voice suddenly sounded faintly in its ears, Shitu, your realm of reality is very good. It even deceived the three of them. Master, you are too kind. Dream Demon Ancestor was stunned, and many doubts flashed through his mind. Shitu. Realm of reality? Master. Could it be? Rorschach is not dead. The moment Dream Demon Ancestor reacted, boom. A terrifying endless pressure suddenly emerged, suppressing Dream Demon Ancestor, the Zerg Queen and the mechanical father god. What? This is, the original pressure of the original universe. In the sky, the Zerg Queen and the mechanical father god both reacted. They felt the endless pressure on their bodies with surprised expressions. They looked unbelievable and shocked. Why would the original pressure of the original universe target them? Is it because they killed Rorschach? Rorschach is not dead. The voice of the Dream Demon Ancestor suddenly rang in the minds of the Zerg Queen and the mechanical father god. The two strongest beings in the universe immediately looked in the direction of the Dream Demon Ancestor. Then they saw the huge star god tree blooming with an incomparably brilliant light. In the dazzling light, the dead Rorschach stood on the treetop with a smile. Next to him stood a figure with a strange black aura all over his body. It was the void demon god. Swallowed Star, my understanding is beyond belief. Author, Bo Yoon Song. Chapter 328. He's not dead yet. The father god of the mechanical tribe and the queen of the Zerg tribe were both surprised. Especially the father god of the machine tribe. In its deduction, it was impossible for Rorschach to avoid the attack of the soul-destroying pearl. How could he survive? Did Su Zhen take action? What I hit was just the Rorschach in the fantasy world. But, when? When did we fall under the illusion? The father god of the mechanical tribe recalled it. Its thinking speed was extremely fast, and in an instant, it found something wrong in its memory. That is, after the behemoth of destruction eats the fruit of law, the main body of the battle becomes the battle between the clone of the behemoth of destruction and Mencha, while Rorschach's true body remains on the star sacred tree. At that time, the father god of the mechanical tribe thought that Rorschach was trying to control the star tree, so he did not move. Now it seems Rorschach on the star sacred tree felt a very subtle sense of disobedience after the giant beast of destruction came out. After the behemoth of destruction ate the fruit of law, a terrifying aura erupted. This breath covered up the fluctuations of Su Zhen's use of illusion and secret techniques. When the behemoth of destruction and Mencha fight together, we should fall into Su Zhen. The devil's illusion has fallen upon him. Father god of the mechanical tribe speculated. The Zerg queen frowned at this time and asked, Machine, the question now is, how do we deal with the pressure from the origin of the universe? It is getting stronger and stronger. This is the place closest to the origin of the universe. I don't know where it is. How can the human boy mobilize the pressure of the universe to suppress us? The dream demon ancestor shouted, do you know what I heard just now? The demon god of Su Zhen actually called Luoxia his master. It seems that this human kid has the sole secret method that can enslave the strongest person in the universe. He deliberately lured us come here to enslave us. The father god of the mechanical tribe and the queen of the Zerg tribe were both shocked when they heard this. The father god of the mechanical tribe said, no wonder the demon god Su Zhen changed his attitude after the battle with Rorschach. I used to think that his consciousness was changed by some kind of treasure. Was he actually enslaved by Rorschach? The Zerg queen shouted in a panic, you guys think of a way. Do you want to be enslaved by that human genius? Dream demon ancestor roared, I am already struggling with all my strength. But the original pressure of this primitive universe is too terrifying, and I cannot resist it at all. Unless the three of us work together, there may be a chance to break through. What a joke. The original coercion of the original universe is something that even the original ancestors cannot break away from. Not to mention the dream demon ancestor, the Zerg queen, and the mechanical father god. Although these three people are also the strongest in the universe, their strength is incomparable to that of the original ancestors. Then let's work together. The father god of the mechanical tribe and the queen of the Zerg tribe are both the most powerful beings in the universe. They know very well how terrifying the original pressure of the original universe is, and they cannot resist it alone. As soon as the dream demon ancestor put forward his opinion, the father god of the mechanical clan and the queen of the Zerg clan agreed. Although the exchange between the three strongest people took a long paragraph, it took very little time. It was almost a thought, and the above exchange was completed in an instant. Almost within 10,000ths of a second before the original pressure of the original universe came down, the dream demon ancestor burst out with a bright silver light, and terrifying divine power surged out from the silver snake body. At the same time, the queen of the Zerg and the father god of the mechanical tribe in the distance also burst out with divine power. The mighty divine power of their three strongest men merged together in an instant, forming a vast ocean of divine power, which actually faintly resisted the original pressure of the original universe. Get out of here first. In consciousness, the father god of the mechanical tribe said. Obviously, the human race's Rorschach has some means to call upon the original pressure of the original universe. This kind of pressure is not something that the strongest people in the ordinary universe can resist, and this is the place closest to the original place. Rorschach did it on purpose, luring them here. It should be just like what the dream demon ancestor said. Rorschach is preparing to enslave their souls. This is scary. In the original universe, no one has ever been able to enslave a powerful person above the universe lord, especially the strongest person in the universe, and no one has ever been able to enslave souls. If someone had told Father God of the mechanical tribe before that someone could soul enslave the strongest man in the universe, they would have thought that person was being funny and telling a joke, but now, a real example is standing in front of them. The Father God of the mechanical tribe, the Queen of the Zerg tribe, and the Dream Demon ancestor couldn't believe what they would see after being enslaved by Rorschach. That would be too cruel to the three strongest men in the universe. Although the Father God of the mechanical clan, the Dream Demon ancestor, and the Queen of the Zerg clan have never fought together, they all have a tacit understanding. As their divine power becomes one, their mighty power begins to explode, causing the entire time and space to shake. Many weak universe venerables were unable to bear this vast and terrifying divine power, and their souls continued to collapse. In an instant, hundreds of universe venerables died. The divine power of the three strongest men in the universe unite to resist the original pressure of the original universe. It works. The Dream Demon ancestor felt that the pressure suppressing the divine body had weakened a bit, and it worked harder to explode its divine power. At this critical moment, if you retain your strength, the only two options you will face are self-destruction and enslavement. The Dream Demon ancestor does not want to self-destruct, nor does he want to be enslaved. If the three strongest men in the universe came to surround and kill a human genius and were forced to self-destruct, then they would have no shame in continuing to live in the original universe. It's so embarrassing to blow yourself up. Being enslaved is the most humiliating of humiliations. He is truly the strongest person in the universe. This kind of burst of divine power is far more powerful than the top masters of the universe, tens of thousands or billions of times more powerful. Seeing the three strongest aliens resisting the pressure of the origin of the universe, Luoxia felt quite emotional. These three people allowed him to see how terrifying the true strongest man in the universe was. But, under the pressure of the origin of the universe, whose power is comparable to that of the God King, what if the three strongest men in the universe combine their divine power? You can't resist at all. Just accept your fate. Suppression. Rorschach ordered the original universe to increase the pressure of the original universe. Boom. The next moment, the entire primitive star's time and space was shattered. Countless stranded cosmic lords died miserably. Facing the coercion of the origin of the universe, the Father God of the machine race, the Queen of the Zerg race, and the Dream Demon ancestor felt their hearts palpitate, and their consciousness fell into a state of stasis for an instant. No. Dream Demon ancestor roared, seeing that the three of them were about to be completely suppressed by the pressure of the origin of the universe again. Dream Demon ancestor's huge snake body suddenly bloomed with extremely bright silver light, and then, the phantom of a small universe suddenly appeared. Almost as soon as it appeared, the phantom suddenly exploded. The lower half of the Dream Demon ancestor's body also exploded with a blast, and the endless power actually blew up a third of the extremely solid original star. Time and space were completely disrupted at this moment. At this moment, the Dream Demon ancestor, who was still half of his body, suddenly jumped up and flew to the edge of the transmission channel as if teleporting. He plunged into it. In the slightly rippling space fluctuations, he was like a water snake burrowing into the water. Disappeared in an instant. The Dream Demon ancestor of the Demon clan was so decisive that he cut off his tail to survive, and then self-destruct his own small universe. In an instant, he broke away from the original pressure of the original universe and escaped. Rorschach shook his head with regret. He is reflecting. I was still a little overconfident. The three strongest men in the universe joined forces. Although they still couldn't resist the original pressure of the original universe, as long as they could break free for a little bit, it was enough for one of the strongest men in the universe to escape. This is different from the original demon god of Suzhen. At that time, the demon god of Suzhen had no idea that Rorschach could enslave the original universe and use the original pressure of the original universe, so he was caught off guard. After being suppressed by Rorschach with the pressure of the origin of the universe, he couldn't even self-destruct the small universe and break away from the pressure of the origin of the original universe, so he could be easily soul-enslaved by Rorschach. But what about the dream demon ancestor? It has the queen of the Zerg and the father god of the machine race to help share the original pressure of the original universe. Moreover, Rorschach did not expect that the dream demon ancestor would blow up his own small universe and escape without caring about the queen of the insect race and the father god of the mechanical race. All I can say is that he is worthy of being the dream demon ancestor of the demon clan. He is as cunning and vicious as a snake. But fortunately, the price of the dream demon ancestor's escape is very high. He blew up his own small universe. Even if he recovers in the future, there will be no possibility of progress. Moreover, if his divine body wants to recover, it will take a long time. It takes a long time. Rorschach murmured to himself, looking up at the queen of the Zerg race and the father god of the mechanical race. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Swallowed Star, my understanding is beyond belief. Author, Bo Yun Song. Chapter 329. Damn it! Dream Tea. The queen of the Zerg and the father god of the mechanical tribe had no idea that the dream demon ancestor would abandon them at this critical moment, so they just blew themselves up in the small universe and escaped. The two were extremely angry. They never expected that the dream demon ancestor would be so decisive. Self-explode a small universe. The small universe is the most important thing to the strongest person in the universe. If it is shattered, it will never be able to break through again, and it will be useless no matter how high your understanding is. Mencha is so cruel. If you are cruel to others, you are even more cruel to yourself. Machine, what should we do now? At this time, the queen of the Zerg has already sacrificed her most powerful treasure, the queen's nest, a palace-like treasure that can help her weaken the pressure brought by the origin of the universe. But even if it was weakened, the pressure suppressing her body still prevented her from moving. Fight for it? The father god of the mechanical tribe said. As soon as he finished speaking, the giant black oval ball suddenly split open, revealing a tall, streamlined robot, who was the true form of the father god of the machine tribe. The Zerg queen frowned. Are we going to blow up the small universe too? The father god of the mechanical tribe glanced at the queen of the Zerg tribe and said nothing, but around him, 10,081 peak treasure puppets suddenly appeared. Each of these treasure puppets is about tens of thousands of kilometers tall. They are made of metal, with 8 arms and 2 legs, a stooped waist, and braids on their heads. The auras of the puppets connected together, like a formation, bursting out with endless law fluctuations. Queen, wish yourself well. The father god of the mechanical tribe suddenly said. The Zerg queen was stunned. Over there, Luoxia frowned when he saw the father god of the mechanical clan releasing his treasure puppets. What does the father god of the mechanical clan want to do? Does he think these treasure puppets can withstand the pressure of the origin of the universe? But in the sky, 10,081 peak treasure puppets released by the father god of the machine tribe were arranged in a strange shape. This shape was so perfect. Rorschach took one look and widened his eyes slightly. Is this the original structure of the original universe. Although it is very simple, there is no doubt that these 10,081 treasure puppets are arranged into the architectural shape of the origin of the universe. Rorschach has been understanding the origin of the universe since he enslaved the original universe. He is very familiar with the structure of the origin. With just one glance, he can see the ways of these treasure puppets. After these puppets were arranged in a short period of time, they immediately emitted rays of light and connected with each other. In an instant, the treasure puppets simulated the simple origin of the universe. The 10,081 treasure puppets seemed to have turned into the origin of another universe, erupting with terrifying pressure. He is truly the strongest person in the universe. Rorschach marveled again. He never expected that the father god of the mechanical tribe could achieve this step. He could actually simulate the origin of the universe with his own treasured puppet. Although this origin was very simple and even superficial, being able to achieve this step has already made him proud. It's amazing enough and feels incredible. But, if this is the case, you still can't escape. Rorschach activated the star sacred tree. The sacred tree bloomed with endless bright stars, and the power of the law gathered into the tidal sea, rumbling to cleanse the void. The roots rooted in the origin of the universe absorbed the pressure of the origin, exuding terrifying power. The next moment, the father god of the mechanical tribe and the queen of the Zerg tribe felt the pressure of the origin of the universe on their bodies becoming even more terrifying. Various data streams flashed through the eyes of the father god of the mechanical tribe. Sudden. The treasured puppet that constitutes the origin of the universe simultaneously bloomed with terrifying divine power. Waves of lawful power shook the void, and time and space began to distort. The burst of divine power seemed to exceed the threshold that the universe could bear, and the starry sky was shattered inch by inch. Boom! Suddenly, the 10,081 peak treasure puppets that constitute the origin of the simple universe exploded. This is extremely scary. Unimaginable power swept across the world in an instant. The original star that had been restored completely exploded. Endless star fragments exploded, time and space were shattered, the resulting space debris storm, and energy tide several light years high were all sweeping in all directions at this moment. The Zerg queen hid in her queen's nest almost immediately. Even so, she still suffered considerable injuries and lost 46% of her divine body. As for the father god of the mechanical tribe, the moment the treasure puppet exploded, it was once again wrapped in a black sphere. According to his precise calculations, the surging energy tide hit its black sphere and drove it into the transmission channel. Rorschach never expected that the father god of the mechanical tribe would be willing to blow up his own treasured puppet. At this time, there was nothing he could do to stop him. In the terrifying energy tide, he could only activate the star sacred tree to defend himself. It took a long time for the terrifying energy tide to slowly subside. Seeing that he had lost 82% of his divine body, Luo Xia frowned and said, "Sure enough, that's too much. Although I have been asking myself not to be complacent and arrogant, in fact, after enslaving the original universe, my mentality was somewhat wrong. This time they are the three strongest people in the universe." He originally thought that relying on the original pressure of the original universe could help him forcibly enslave the three strongest people. As a result, two escaped now. His divine body also lost 82%. This is already a serious injury to the master of the universe. Rorschach looked at the queen of the Zerg hiding in the queen's nest in the distance. After escaping from the dream demon ancestor and the father god of the mechanical tribe, only the strongest queen of the Zerg was left. Two of them escaped, but we can't let you escape again. Rorschach gritted his teeth. He ordered the original universe to descend with the strongest original pressure. In an instant, invisible pressure came from the void, heading straight towards the Zerg queen to suppress it. Mensha. Machinery. At this time, the Zerg queen let out a scream of hatred. She knew very well that she had been abandoned by two ruthless allies. She doesn't want to be enslaved. The Zerg Queen wants to blow herself up. But as the endless pressure came, her consciousness froze. At the last moment when her consciousness was about to fall into darkness, the Zerg Queen shouted Rorschach's name angrily. Rorschach! Boom boom boom. Channels were opened in the void. Endless laws surged out from the passage, and the terrifying pressure from the origin of the universe descended. Rorschach's face was cold, and he activated the star-sacred tree to descend above the Queen's nest. The endless law impacted the Queen's nest. Soon, a crack was opened, and Rorschach's mental power immediately entered the Queen's nest along the crack. The moment he sensed the Zerg Queen, Rorschach's mental power was like a condensed soul mark of enslavement. Like a long sword, it pierced into the true heart of the Zerg Queen. His mental power was fiercely injected, imprinting the soul mark of soul slavery on deep in the soul of the Zerg Queen. Because the Zerg Queen had been suppressed by the origin of the universe, her consciousness fell into a state similar to the freezing of time, and she was unable to resist. Rorschach quickly imprinted the soul mark of slavery deep in the Queen's soul. Boom. After doing all this, Rorschach allowed the original universe to take back the endless pressure of its origin, and the vast ocean of laws quietly receded. Luoxia took a deep breath, drawing divine power from the Yuhai clone to replenish his divine body. At the same time, as the endless pressure of the origin of the universe dissipated, the Queen of the Zerg, as the strongest person in the universe, quickly woke up. A hint of helplessness flashed in her dreamy and beautiful eyes. She did not expect that she would not be able to escape in the end. The fate of Rorschach slavery. At this time, under the influence of the slave soul mark, although she still felt helpless and other emotions in her heart, she had no hatred or anger towards Luoxia, only endless love and admiration. I saw her fly out from the Queen's nest, her graceful figure bowed down, and respectfully shouted to Luoxia. Meet the Master. Swallowed Star, my understanding is beyond belief. Author, Bo Yun Song. Chapter 330. Rorschach looked at the beautiful Zerg Queen and nodded. Rightward arrow. His lost divine body has been almost recovered after being supplemented by the divine power of Yuhai's clone. At the same time, the original star that was blown to pieces also returned to its original state. Of course, those universe lords and universe overlords who remained on the original star died. According to the data given by the original universe, the number of universe lords and universe overlords who died due to the battle this time reached 5,462. These cosmic sages all come from other forces, including the Prison Clan, the Crystal Clan, the Nine Domains Alliance, etc. At this time, these forces all learned the news that their own universe master had died. They were surprised and angry. More than 5,000 cosmic venerables. This would be an unbearable loss for any force. Even if the Lord of the Universe can resurrect these Universe Lords, it will still consume many resources within the clan. Some weaker alliances simply cannot bear the price of such a resurrection. Now it's a mess outside. Rorschach didn't care about this. He looked at the Zerg Queen in front of him and asked, "Do you have your own name?" The outside world calls this strongest person in the universe the Queen of the Zerg. No one has ever known this being's true name. "Master, I have a name, Isalina," the Zerg Queen replied in a soft voice. Isalina. Rorschach nodded. "I need you to persuade the Zerg to join my human race." "Are you sure?" Isalina was silent for a while, and then she said, "I will try my best." "Then you go back and take care of this matter," Luoxia said calmly. "If the Zerg race is unwilling to join our human race, I don't mind completely destroying them." "Yes, Master," Isalina saluted respectfully, "then I will return to the clan first." "Go ahead." Luoxia nodded slightly. He didn't feel good about the Zerg Queen because of her beauty. "It's not like I've never seen beauties before." He is not the kind of man who can't walk around when he sees a woman. Isalina nodded, flew towards the transmission channel and left the original star. Rorschach also teleported, returned to the original secret realm of the original universe, and found the Lord of Chaos City. The Lord of Chaos City has a palace deep in the original secret realm. On weekdays, his most precious treasure, the Qianbao River, would cover this area. Even if the strongest person came, he would be immediately sensed by the Chaos City Lord. "Teacher, I'm back." Rorschach met the Lord of Chaos City in the palace. Rorschach, the Lord of Chaos City, looked unusually excited when he saw Rorschach. After a while, he asked, "How is it?" The dream demon ancestor self-destructed the small universe and escaped. Rorschach smacked his lips with regret. The father god of the machine tribe behind him was inspired and also self-destructed his own treasure puppet and fled. Only the queen of the Zerg tribe, Isalina, was killed by me. Soul slavery successful. The Chaos City Lord's eyes lit up. The dream demon ancestor blew up the small universe. The father god of the mechanical clan blew up his own treasured puppet. Yes, Rorschach nodded. Okay. The Lord of Chaos City was overjoyed and said good 3 times in a row. After the destruction of the mini-universe of the strongest person in the universe, although the strongest person will not fall, the strongest person in the universe without the mini-universe will not be able to make any further progress. In other words, the dream demon ancestor of the demon clan has been destroyed in just one battle. As for the father god of the machine tribe, how many puppets did the father god of the mechanical tribe explode? The Lord of Chaos City has dealt with the father god of the mechanical tribe and knows that the strongest man has many treasure puppets at the peak level. Its combat power is one of the best in the entire original universe. 10,081 seats, all self-destruct, Rorschach said. Hearing this, the Lord of Chaos City couldn't hold it back any longer and laughed loudly. Okay. They all exploded themselves. In this way, the strength of the father god of the mechanical race was reduced by at least 2/3. Such a good opportunity, our human race must seize the opportunity. The Lord of Chaos City began to think about it. Now that the strength of the father god of the machine tribe has been reduced by half, and the dream demon ancestor has also been seriously injured, it is when the machine tribe and the monster tribe are at their weakest. The human race must seize the opportunity to get enough from these two groups. Benefits. They don't go for it now. The weak mechanical tribe and demon tribe will also be beaten by other tribes. Chaos City Lord and the others would not let go of such a good opportunity. After Rorschach told the Chaos City Lord about his plan, they discussed it privately. If Rorschach succeeded, the Chaos City Lord would convene a supreme meeting to mobilize for war and launch a war against the Machine Tribe, Monster Tribe, and Zerg Tribe. Strive to maximize benefits. Although it is not completely successful now. But he also injured the dream demon ancestor of the demon clan and the father god of the mechanical clan. This was a good opportunity to take advantage of his illness and kill him. Let's go to the virtual universe with me now. The Lord of Chaos City immediately issued a notice, convene a supreme meeting. Soon, the Lords of the Universe and the Lords of the Universe received the news from the Lord of Chaos City to convene a supreme meeting. These cosmic lords were very surprised. Why is it that a supreme meeting was held just over 100 years ago and is being held again now? They had previously been paying attention to the battle between Rorschach and the 3 strongest men in the universe. What they can know now is that the Master of the Universe and the Overlord of the Universe on the original star No 05921 have all fallen. As for what kind of fight Rorschach had with the 3 strongest men in the universe, everyone was unsure. Most of the universe-honored ones and universe masters thought that Luoxia should be dead. Figures appeared one after another in the pantheon. Do you know why the Supreme Conference was held? Is it because Luoxia fell? The Lord of Samsara should not have fallen yet, but the Supreme Conference was held at this time, probably because of the Lord of Samsara. Does the Lord of Chaos intend for us to rescue the Lord of Samsara? Those are the 3 strongest in the universe. If you want to rescue the Lord of Samsara, you have to ask the founder of the Great Axe to come forward, right? Don't guess, the meeting will start soon. Whether it is related to the Lord of Samsara, won't we know soon? In the Pantheon, all the human masters sat in their seats. Luo Feng, who originally went to the Artisan Star to find the 9 Tribulations secret book, was also sitting in the Pantheon at this time. He also heard other people's speculation about Luo Xia, thinking that Luo Xia was probably dead. In response, he just kept silent. To be honest, although his brother assured him that he would never die, he was still very uncertain when he thought about the 3 strongest people in the universe. Fortunately, his mother said that Melissa, who returned to Earth, was fine, and there was no sign of destruction in the original universe. His brother Rorschach should still be alive and well, but he didn't know what the situation was now. Quiet. Suddenly, the voice of the Lord of Chaos sounded. The human strongmen instantly quieted down.